Hola, from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Monday, y'all. It is the night before, y'all. It is the night before. The night before the election. Have you voted? Have you voted? That's what I want to know. If you voted or not. Well, everybody over here has voted, including my millennial, the 25-year-old. He cast his ballot. He, of course, did a mail-in ballot, but he filled everything out, signed it, and Mama dropped it off at one of the voting centers because we are not going to trust the U.S. mail. Nope, not going to do it. So before I go forward, let me just do my house cleaning. Come on through and chill. Tell you guys, if you saw my video this morning, I am losing. I started losing hours. I only lost 10 hours so far, but hopefully my efforts today and the efforts of my friends today got those 10 hours back. So basically what I got to do right now is I just got to have my video playing and live streams playing all the time until I get to this freaking 4,000 hours. And I'm like around 500 hours out. So we're going to do what we have to do. I do have content that I have to upload, so I'm going to try to get that uploaded as well. We were having technical issues because at one time, all of my headsets went out on me. And then I got these AirPods. So now I got to get used to, the AirPods. And when I'm doing my recording, because I'm still doing everything on my phone, y'all. But I'm looking for a camera. I'm looking. Maybe that'll be my Christmas present to myself, the camera. Hey, Matt, how you doing? I know I'm nervous about tomorrow. And, so this movie that I'm in, they were going to do an in-person rehearsal tomorrow, but just because people are concerned about people getting ignorant out there in these streets, they decided to wait on having another in-person rehearsal this week. And businesses are closing down early tomorrow. But y'all, we got faith now. We gotta have faith. That's what we gotta have. I'm not even gonna say have faith in the electoral process. I'm just gonna say we just have to have faith. It's gonna be crazy though. And see, now it's already Tuesday for part of the country. But 5 o'clock, what time do the close open? What time do the polls open? They open at what, 7 a.m.? Or is it 8 a.m.? Let me see. They open at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So that means as of 4 a.m. West Coast time, the polls will be officially open. And there are many states that allow people to actually register to vote on election day. And they think that it is these hidden voters. We don't know how they're going to vote. So, you know, there's a lot of people that they think, you know, in middle America, you know, the demographic that 45 goes after. So, you know, I don't know. A lot of people have voted early, but a lot of states do not start counting those ballots in actuality until tomorrow, you know? And some don't even start counting ballots until after the polls have closed. But, you know, I guess what happens is like all of the ballots, after all of the polls close in every county, this is just the way I'm assuming. I know this is how they do it in LA County. Everything has to go back to Norwalk, which is where the registrar office is for LA County. And, you know, like even today, it was a breeze for people going into polls. But I just think that it's because a lot of people voted early. So, you know, in these last days leading up to the election, a lot of people, all they're doing is like maybe you have people basically dropping off their absentee ballots, you know, the mail-ins. Because that's what I did today. We just dropped off my son. My guy and I both voted in person. And, you know, like with my son's ballot, they put the sticker inside the envelope, you know, with his ballot, so he could put his sticker on. But he got another sticker when I dropped off the ballot. But here's the interesting thing. So in California, supposedly, everyone was supposed to get a mail-in ballot. Everybody was supposed to get one, right? Okay. I did not. My dude did not. My son is the only person in this household who got a mail-in ballot. And guess what? He's the only person who asked for a mail-in ballot. So I don't know what they were talking about, but I didn't get the mail-in ballot. And I wasn't waiting for a mail-in ballot. I said, I'm just going to go vote in person because I don't trust it. If they sent me a mail-in ballot, I don't know where it went because all of my other stuff went to my P.O. box. I certainly got all of the, you know, political garbage in my P.O. box. So all the candidates know to send stuff to my P.O. box if they're looking for me. Now, granted, obviously, the county knows my physical address, you know, but I don't want all that junk coming here. I mean, literally, that's basically all that was in my P.O. box was a bunch of political BS from all these different candidates. When DC made up her mind a long time ago, you know, in regards to most of the stuff, including, you know, some of the measures. Now, I did go to a Zoom meeting last weekend to get clarification on some of the other measures so that I can be sure about what I was voting on for some of them. I'm hoping that the one that reverses Proposition 209 goes through. I think that was Proposition 16 in California because back in the late 90s, they did a Proposition 209, which basically erased affirmative action in schools and employment and whatever in the state of California. Now, they claim, but we're still protected at federal level, but not. And I've been the victim of discrimination in an employment, but you can't prove it. So anyway, but here we go. I hope that this one goes through. There were a lot of like state initiatives that were I was I'm far more concerned. I'm really concerned about because they're obviously going to have an impact on me being in this stupid state with this high ass taxes. And the state that I'm in, we already know California is a blue state. Joe Biden got all these electoral votes from here because basically, it's winner take all for the state. So he's got the state of California. Trump might get some votes scattered throughout the state, but yeah, he already knows. Even though he came over here and he tried, but my concern are the states of Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, and Pennsylvania. I'm concerned about Ohio too, but those ones because Michigan the purple and Trump got Michigan 4 years ago. Biden needs to get Michigan, and really the way that they're looking at it, whoever gets Florida, they're saying that, well, no, they're saying that 45 will probably not win enough electorals if he doesn't get Florida. I forget how many electoral votes each state has, but I think what is it, 271 is how many they need. I think it's 271 that they need. Because I remember when Obama won, he had 300 or something crazy. It was a decisive win. And I'm going to be honest, y'all. Mr. Biden needs to decisively win. He has to decisively win. And the way it's looking is that it's going to be a very close race, which is nerve-wracking for all of us. I honestly don't think I can handle 4 more years of this man. And I know there are black people that don't feel the same way that I do. There are some black people that are happy and they have benefited from Mr. Trump being in the office, and not all of them are rich. So I'm sure they're casting their votes for 45. And they'll probably be devastated if he loses, just as the rest of us will probably be devastated if he wins. But I know who I serve, and I know that these evangelical Christians, backing this man is just crazy to me, because I don't know, when did the Republican Party become the Christian Party? I mean, when did it become the religious party? I'm just saying. Suddenly the Republican Party is moral, but yet still they elect a president who talks about grabbing them in the you know what, in the punani. So yeah, okay, that's it. It's gonna be. I would love tomorrow to see long lines across the country at the polls. I would love to see that because there's still a whole lot of people who haven't voted yet, and I'm not going to count on them being in absentee ballots that have yet to be counted. I hope there's long lines. Just like people got out in 2008 and in 2000, you know, just like they got out for 44. I hope they're getting out like that for this election because honestly, they did not get out in 2016. Millions of Americans who are eligible to vote did not vote. And those are the people I'm hoping to vote. It's the ones who don't normally vote that I want to vote. And then people who decide not to vote, I don't want to hear you. I don't want you to complain about nothing. If you don't vote, don't complain. That means you 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 don't want a voice and you don't have a voice. And you have no right to complain about a damn thing. That's my opinion. If you don't vote. You see what you're saying now. Yeah, well, the Russian bots aren't out there winning this time, so we're going to see how well that plays for him this time. Um, people aren't falling for the okie doke. They're more cognizant, and I don't understand how some people believe all of his lies. I mean, he just lies so much, and then he lies about the other candidate. When you have to lie about the other guy to make yourself look better, it's something wrong. You should be telling truths about the other guy, not a bunch of lies. But all he does is lie, 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 lie. You know. So, I if he gets back in, that means y'all want it. Y'all want a liar. Y'all want us to look like the butt of jokes for the rest of the world. Y'all want us to look stupid as a country. But I'm sorry, this president allowed over 200,000 people to get this coronavirus. And now we're going into it again. And the only thing he talks about is the vaccine. Dude, do you realize how many people will not take that vaccine? You need to get this under control without a vaccine. Worry about the vaccine later because they're saying that this could be like with the flu. They have to give you a different shot every year for it. And y'all know how I feel about flu shots. So y'all know I will not be the first one in line to get a coronavirus shot. That's happening. And hell, my father, the doctor says he's not going to get one either. So why would I? Why would I do it? You know, here's my thing. You know, we as what as black people have reason to be suspicious of white people in regards to, you know, giving us shots. You know, let's not forget the Tuskegee experiment. Let's not forget it. We'll never forget that. You know, these people got me messed up. They got me twisted. You know, I don't know, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna force us to take it? Is he gonna force us to take the shot? Y'all, please, if you're sitting home and you did not vote, and you are in a state where you can register on election day, please take your butt to the polls and bring your ID with you. And yeah, that's what you need. Your ID, and I guess probably a piece of mail that shows you live, in the area. But for most states, as long as you can show you live in the county, they don't care based on your ID. It has to be current, unexpired ID. But yeah, y'all need to vote. I mean, we've had a large turnout all over the country. It's been a large turnout, but we still need all those folks that are procrastinating and waiting until tomorrow to be patient, to stand in those lines, get there early, get to the polls early, y'all. That's why we did everything ahead of time, because I couldn't do it. I didn't want to be standing in a long line. As far as my son, I already knew how he was going to deal with the change in how the voting is done. So for him, he just needs to be a by mail voter for now, because we didn't know if there were going to be long lines or short lines. We didn't know if, and if there's a lot of people waiting, he likes to take his time to do stuff, and he needs assistance. So yeah, that was not going to work, because ours is all like the touch screen, and you have to touch the stuff. So, and those screens are real sensitive. Hey, Jazzy. Hey, Darren. Yeah, people have got to. I'm just saying. See, I want the vote to be decidedly, no matter which way it goes. We don't want a close vote on the presidential election. I want it to be decidedly whichever way it goes. That means, that's why I want it to be, I mean, it would be nice to say 100% participation, but I don't think we're going to get 100% participation. So I'm just hoping that we get like 80% participation. If 80% of the people who are eligible to vote, then we know that the people have really spoken, whichever way it goes. And of course, if it doesn't go my way, I'm going to be upset, but I'm going to have to respect the process. And I hope that Mr. Trump will also respect it if it doesn't go his way. I just, people are so afraid that there are going to be riots and people are going to turn up. They are literally boarding up like in Beverly Hills, California, out here, they have boarded up like everything. And I know back in my hometown of DC, they blocked off everything around the White House. So if this man wins, people go in there and try to burn it down. They're just, I mean, people have stocked up on their guns and their ammunition. It's going to be, so it's the thing is that we have to pray that no matter which way this election goes, that we do not have people out there acting a fool. We don't want that. We don't want groups on either side to be acting a fool. With this MAGA stuff. This man has not made America great again, in my opinion. He has not. But like I said, the states that are critical, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida. Oh, and I forgot the state my daddy's in, North Kakalaki. Yeah. Those are key states. And even Arizona, because you got to think about it. There are a lot of Arizonians that are really not happy with Mr. Trump, even though Arizona is typically a red state, but they do not like how Mr. Trump treated Mr. McCain. And after his death and stuff. So I just don't. I think that Arizona's not a shoe-in for Mr. Trump. Especially, let me just tell you, especially because there has been a huge migration of people from California that have moved to Arizona. And guess what they did when they moved to Arizona? They registered to vote in the state of Arizona. What? So I don't know. But the early voting, y'all, has been crazy. And I really believe that people have come out early to vote because they don't want to wait until the last minute because of this virus and because they want to be able to trust the electoral process. So, I mean, like here in the county that I live in, they've had almost 3 million people in Los Angeles County have turned in their mail-in ballots. 3 million, almost it's like 2.6 million. And then another 150,000 have voted in person. I was one of that 150,000. That's just in LA County. I mean, and it's across the country. What does that tell you? That tells you that a lot of people have a vested interest in this election. And I know that it's going to be more people voting this time than voted 4 years ago. I know that it's going to surpass that. I just wanted to surpass that by a lot. I wanted to be way over that sorry 60% it was 4 years ago. So yeah, I'm shooting for 75, 80%. You know, it's it's important. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of people are taking their kids who are not old enough with them to vote so that their kids understand the electoral process before they're old enough to vote. Like here in the state of California, one of the initiatives that was on there was to allow 17-year-olds to to be able to get, I guess, prepare if they're going to be 18 by the next presidential election specifically. So I think it's to allow them to vote in the primary if they're going to be 18 by the presidential election. So like the primaries are in March and the election is in November. Maybe they turn 18 in September. So because they're going to be 18 by November, they would be allowed to vote in the primary. That's one of the things that's on it. We have rent control. We've got the Uber Lyft initiative on there. Several ones about taxes. And then there's the one about not always having the money bailed. And then I believe there's another one that's on there that was they wanted a yes on it would mean that certain misdemeanor um certain misdemeanor crimes could be treated as felonies. I immediately said no to that because I know that whenever they do things like that, black people are the ones who are hurt the most by those kind of things. I mean, they already are stacking charges on our people. I'm not giving you no extra so that you can start turning misdemeanors into felonies. I mean, I'm just thinking about the fact that you've got all of these people who just in the last 4 years have been able to get marijuana stuff off of their record so that they could be able to, get better jobs. So, do you honestly think that that would allow you to do things like making a marijuana charge or something that's a minor offense, turning it into a major offense? You know? Hey, Miss Pamela. But a lot of people are very, very, very concerned about what's going to happen after the election. They're concerned about there being rioting. And why were they concerned? I don't remember anybody being concerned about there being rioting 4 years ago. I wonder, is this because of Black Lives Matter and because of George Floyd and, the Breonna Taylor and Ahmad, I can't remember his name, but that young man who was jogging. So maybe because all of those things that happened, maybe that's why they're more concerned. But people don't normally, well, it's been a long time since there have been, you know, riots around elections. And I mean, we're going back to the 60s when we were dealing with Vietnam. You know, that was like, my parents' generation that was, you know, marching and fighting, and because they were the ones who had 10 years before that been fighting for civil rights. Hey, hey, Miss Marilyn, how are you? It's gonna be a. Did Uppity come in? Hey, Uppity. I didn't see you come in. Trying to keep track of the. Like, yeah, this people didn't. I don't think we were this stressed out 4 years ago. I think because 4 years ago, you know, I think many people were very shocked that you know Hillary Clinton got the popular vote and not the electoral. Similar to what happened to Al Gore. So we just have to hope and pray that it has to be a landslide, y'all. I'm not even being funny about it. A landslide is the only way we will not have any friction coming from anyone. So the people have to speak the the definitively. I couldn't think of the word for a minute there. We have to be definitive in this, you know. And I mean, most of us got out there, did what we needed to do. You know, we are not. We are so distrusting of the U.S. Postal Service. Those people still, they were like, nah, we're not even going to, because you don't want, and then again, you don't want to give the president any leeway, even though some states say it just has to be postmarked. I believe here in California, you have to either mail it in time, that it's received, I believe, by tomorrow, or just drop it off at a ballot at a voting center. That's the same thing with the mail-in votes, but there's a lot of fakery going on, you guys. I mean, I've been getting calls, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm like, how do these people have my number? I am unlisted. I pay to be unlisted, as a matter of freaking fact. Nobody knows my home phone number. So I must be on one of those auto dial systems. You know what I mean? At least they're not saying me by name. They're just calling the resident. But still, I won't miss those calls. They're gone. I mean, they were just blowing us up today. And I mean, I'm sure you guys have had the same thing all day today in wherever you are. Every political ad. I'm so sick of seeing the Donald Trump ads. I'm so sick of seeing the Joe Biden ads. I'm so sick of seeing all the ads for all the initiatives. You know, and every time, the reason I'm sick of seeing the Donald Trump ads is because every time he gets up there, it's just more lies, and I just can't take it. And yeah, I'm one of those ones. I voted, so I want tomorrow to be here and gone. Us to just get through this. Because for most of us, we've already cast our vote, so it's done. You know, Now we're just waiting to find out what the results are. I'm starting to stay positive too, because, but see, it's so close. It's so close that I don't think that it'll be a landslide. I think it's just going to be. It's really going to be the electoral. Who gets the electoral? And hopefully we'll have that. We'll know pretty much that tomorrow. But this is a different election. This is a different election. And many, many more states have had early voting this year than ever before. And I'm gonna tell y'all, they may do this again in 4 years. This may be the norm for presidential elections going forward. Because if you think about it, it really gives people, more time to cast their vote. And it leaves people with really no excuse other than you simply just did not want to vote. That's it. The only excuse you have. You didn't want to vote. Because they have made it so easy. That's what I'm saying. America is going to show us who they are. I remember when George W. won his second election after he stole the first one. And I had voted absentee that year because I was in Texas. So imagine how I felt sitting in the state of Texas, watching that idiot go back into office. And think about it. And y'all think about it. This man, 4 years ago, he was a New Yorker. Now he's not a New Yorker. Now he's moved to Florida. See how he treated y'all in New York? I wouldn't trust him if I was you, Florida. I don't care that you have a Republican governor. Don't trust this man. What has he done for you in the last 4 years, really, Florida? Think about it. What has he done for you in the last 4 years? You think about it. When it came time to deal with COVID, each state needs to think about how he treated each one of our states. And that's how you need to answer him in this election, because he treated all the states bad. It didn't matter if you were red or blue. And what he should have done as the leader of the country, this should have been handled on a federal level. The government should have handled it. It should not have been left into the state hands. If it had been handled at a federal level, like really, I think we would have had results much better than other countries versus us being the worst when we're supposed to be, the best as far as medicine and all of that. It made us look like fools. Our country looked stupid for having this man in office. And I say he is stupid, and it was hateful for him to dismantle the commission that was already in place. If he had left that freaking commission in place, then he would have already had people available, and they could have jumped on this and taken this. And Mr. Pence could have just jumped on top of it and just made sure it was going right. But no, that's not how he wanted to do things. We saw the opposite. It is Mr. Trump's fault that COVID is as bad as it is in this country. He can blame it on China all he wants as as to being the source of it, but he cannot blame them for what happened in this country. That lays at your doorstep, Mr. Trump. And that is the problem that most Americans have with you, Mr. Trump. And I hope that they speak to you to that effect tomorrow at the polls. People died that should not have died, would not have died. And now you have countries like the UK and I believe Spain and maybe even Italy that are starting to roll things back to a certain extent. Now, this president, of course, thinks that's the wrong thing to do. And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. At this point, it's probably not. He should have reined this in from the very beginning. It's his lack of leadership. It was his lack of taking this seriously when the rest of the world did. You know? The rest of the world took it seriously. Even most of us were taking it seriously, because I've gone back and listened to like some of my live streams from when this first came out. We were taking it seriously, even before the president was. I mean, remember we were talking about things that we would need to, prepare for the lockdown. And for many of us, that lockdown was for a very long time. It went on for a couple of months. I mean, technically, we're really still locked down because, for the most part, the schools haven't opened back up. Our kids aren't back at school. Many people are still working remotely from home. You know what I'm saying? So, we're still not really opened up. Although you can tell it by the traffic. And, everybody's freaked out today because first time in a long time, a lot of people are driving home in the dark from work. Those who are out there working again. And, I generally run my errands after I get off work. When I left, it was still light. By the time I got back home, it was pitch black. And I wasn't gone. I was gone less than an hour. But daylight savings time is gone. And we are back to real time. Man is not manipulating time right now. And that's one of the things that I do agree with the state of Arizona on not doing daylight savings time. I think it's stupid. It's stupid that we do it. It really is. We really don't need an extra hour of light. What are we doing? Are we out in the fields farming? Do most of us have outdoor jobs? I'm just saying. You had to go to you had a 5:30 p.m. Oh man, it's gonna be pitch black. It's gonna be dark, Miss Pamela. Because I went to the bank. I left at I left at 5 o'clock. It was still light. By the time I got to the bank, it was already dark. It was already almost dark. By the time I got back home, it was dark, and it wasn't even 6 o'clock. So it was dark between 5 and 6. But now it's good because I could actually get out there if I wanted to, and if I wanted to do walking in the morning, if I lived in a neighborhood where I could do that. If I lived in a neighborhood where I could do that, I will live in a neighborhood where I can do that. I just don't right now. Yeah. Too many major streets around. Where I used to live, when I lived um, in Hawthorne, where the Beach Boys are from, I always tell people that, in case y'all don't know, the Beach Boys are not from Malibu. They are from one of the cities, like as in the South Bay. They're from Hawthorne, California. That is where they are from. They went to Hawthorne High. They even, seriously, they even have a statue, the Beach Boy house, in front of the house where they live, where he lived. Where the founder of the Beach Boys lived. But yeah, they grew up in Hawthorne. They grew up in Hawthorne, right by Hawthorne Airport. Anyway, but when I lived in Hawthorne, I could walk around the neighborhood because, there were enough blocks between the major streets that I could walk the neighborhood, and I could choose not to go on a major street, and I could still walk like a good mile just walking in the neighborhood. Plus, like probably maybe 5 blocks from where I live was a high school, and I could walk around the track if I wanted. But there's places around here that I could walk. I just have to drive to them to go walking. So, if I like lived in one of those gated communities, if I wanted to pay, and see, the gated communities are just out of what I am willing to pay in rent, you know. If I was if it was a mortgage, I would pay it. Understand that? Like if I was paying a mortgage that was $3,000, I'd pay it. But I'm not paying $3,500 in rent to live in a gated community. I'm not going to do it. I can't. I can't do it. It's not practical. You know, it's not practical. $3,500 is a mortgage, in my opinion. It's somebody's mortgage. But there are people who are paying that and more. I kid you not. Kid you not. So we won't be living in the gated community in the Los Angeles area. If I want to live in a gated community, I need to move out of California because I can afford to move in a gated community in other states, not in this damn state. You feel me? Oh, you haven't been to Hawthorne in a long time? Yeah. My son grew up in Hawthorne. He went to Hawthorne High, the same school that the Beach Boys did. Yeah, that's where he went to school. That's where he went to high school rather. Oh, okay, let me check it. Ooh, I'm on my phone. I think I can check it and not knock myself out. Let me see. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? If you guys can still hear me, then that means you guys can still hear me. So let me see. I'm checking. I did get it. Thank you, Miss Marilyn. Oh, you are so sweet. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It came to my I did get it. I did get it. It did come to my Cash App. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. You guys are sweet to me. Whenever you guys um donate, I always appreciate it. I had a an artist reach out to me on Instagram about doing maybe um some work on my page. So I'm gonna take a look at her work. I might, y'all see my the things that I did myself, but I've seen like Angel's Army has a caricature, and I've seen the ones that a lot of different people have that are like more like cartoon versions of themselves. And I can draw, but I can draw like I can draw what I really look like. I'm not I can't draw like a cartoon version of me, you know. So I'm interested to see what she has to offer because I'm really trying to up my game and get my branding together. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to get it all together. I am starting to try to look at what the hot hashtags are for autism videos so I can, try to utilize some of those things in my titles going forward. I'm working on it, but I know that pretty much every autism channel is different. We are all different because people on the autism spectrum are all very, very different. So our experiences are different. So I think some of the things that I probably will talk about, that I talk about, are probably going to be very different from people who may have a child who is more severely autistic. You know, I thank God that my son is not severely autistic because, and when it's severely autistic, when I'm talking about when they're not verbal. It doesn't mean that they don't understand, but it's just harder because then you have to come up with other ways for them to be able to communicate. Some are able to use the typewriter to type out everything. Um, some are able to use like sign language, but you know those are not the challenges that I have. I have someone who, from my opinion, and this is strictly my opinion. From my opinion, my son could just talk if he really put his mind to it. I mean, in other words, have a conversation with you because he has the vocabulary, you know, and he understands the word and understands usually when to appropriately use words. So that's where my challenge is for him. Hi. Hi, it's B Mac, Auntie Norma. Thank you for coming. Are we okay over there, Dave? Yeah, Dave voted today, y'all. Dave voted today. King David voted today. He cast his ballot. And it's so funny, y'all. So, y'all know how people are funny about like how you never know what post you're going to put up that people are going to like when you're posting stuff on your Facebook or your Instagram. So, I posted a picture of my son, and I think it's on my Instagram too. But it's on my Instagram and it's on my Facebook. Within 20 minutes, 50 people had liked the fact that my son had voted. They don't give a damn that I voted, y'all. They don't give a damn that DC voted, but David voted. Everybody was like, they were clapping, they were leaving congratulations, all kinds of stuff. And this is not his first time voting, but you know, still, it's he's a millennial, and you know, we're trying to get them to vote because really everything that happens right now, it has an impact on our kids than it does on us. So it is very important that they vote and that they understand the voting process. It's very important. But I was so proud of him when he signed his ballot and we put, you know, and we put everything in the envelope. I was proud of him because this is the first time he's done the, you know, the mail-in ballot. He's always voted in person, but because they changed the way our voting system is, and I had talked to someone, and they were saying, you know, that it will probably be easier for him to vote by mail. And when I looked at the vote by mail thing, it's the exact same ballot that we have on the touch screen. It's just he has to actually fill the circle in, and I think that that's easier for him, you know, because they're manually counting those. So he's gonna have, yep. He 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 cast his ballot, you know. I just made sure he stayed stayed inside the little circle for his candidate. You know, I just made sure he stayed in the little circle, and he voted for who he wanted to vote for. He voted. I was surprised. He actually voted on almost all of the initiatives. A couple of them he didn't vote on them because he didn't really understand them and they weren't important to him. So he didn't vote for a couple of the initiatives, but he voted on most of the stuff. And he voted, you know, on the Congress, and he voted on the, you know, the DA, which was very controversial. Y'all, I don't know if Jackie Lacey, she's the first black, you know, I think she's the first woman and first black woman DA for the county of Los Angeles. And I just think these people want her out of there. I just think they want her out of there, y'all. And I think that because these Black Lives Matter people don't like her, they gonna get her out. And I don't really trust the guy that's running against her. I don't know him either. I don't know if that's a better situation for us either. But it is disappointing that the DA for Los Angeles County is a African American woman, and she has not prosecuted hardly any police officers for police brutality cases. It is very disturbing and disappointing that that has happened. You know, so we're not even just talking about LAPD. We're talking about the sheriff's department. Ugh. And I know these people wish they could get rid of this man that they voted in as sheriff, Alex Villanueva. Telling you, he is dirty, dirty. Should not be in office. They should not have brought him back in, but they did. They brought him back in. Let me see. How long have I been on? Okay, so I've been on for an hour and 7 minutes. I'm gonna stay on. I'm gonna try to stay on until hour 15. Okay. We're trying to stay on over an hour now. Trying to be on for a little bit more than an hour because I'm trying to not lose no hours. Plus I'm also on my backup channel. I have gone in there and cleared my entire watch history on my backup channel so that I can watch all my videos again on my backup channel. I am about to attack my son's channel because my son is a subscriber, and I know he's watched a lot of my videos, but I'm just going to get his channel and put him on one of the tabs on my Mac and let him watch my playlist too. Yeah, we're gonna sign you. We're gonna sign your YouTube into Mommy's Mac. Not right now. Mommy's not coming on camera yet. I know you ready to come over here though. Yeah, he's dying to come on camera. Let me see. Where's my Let's see. Let me put my phone on the. I gotta put my phone on the stand, and then I will come on camera. I can be on camera for the last part of the show. 1 second. Let me do it. David's coming over here too, so you can come sit. I'm not getting ready to get off, but you can come sit. Hey guys. Show them your sticker. See, there's his sticker. You voted. Move your hand. Move your hand. There you go. Scoot over. Show me your sticker. There you go. There's your sticker. See, there's his I voted sticker. Okay. He voted, y'all. Got his sticker too. He got his sticker. Ooh, my hair's all over my head. I like the single leaf twist because They are they take me less time to put in, y'all. And when it's time to take these out, I literally just slide them out of my hair. So it's yeah. But it's not time to take them out yet. It's almost time. It's almost time. I'm just gonna do them over. I'm just gonna singly twist for a little while. Cause I like these. These are easy. They are. They're not. They aren't. Like with the individual braids. That's more tension on my hair. These are less tension on my hair. And as you can see, no matter what I do, I try. My hair is brown, like it is brown brown. It is not. It is not like dark brown. It's a reddish brown. I try to dye over it, and no matter what happens, that red, my natural red in my hair just keeps coming back. So irritating. I guess I shouldn't complain. But it's irritating sometimes. Because I would just like it to be dark, and this last time I put on, I guess I should just dye it black. But my hair's not black. But browns work for me. Miss Pamela says she loves you. You love Miss Pamela? Say hi, Miss Pamela. He said hi. Yeah, he's gone to the other side of the room now. He went to the other side of the room. Yes, he did. My dude has gone upstairs. Y'all, he's so done with me. And you too. But he knows I'm trying to get these hours. He knows I'm trying to get these hours. He is so done with me and you too. He's been done. Like about a month ago, he was done. About a month ago, he was done. But I'm so close. I'm so close. And I know how other people feel when you're just trying to get these hours. So, I may have to resort to some in the middle of the night live. Like if I'm just up, just come on. I don't know. Let's see. I've been on for 15 minutes. Nope, couple more. Y'all, I can't see. Your girl DC is so blind. And then I'm trying to look at it on the phone. I'm trying to look at it on the phone, y'all. See, I know I don't normally cam up at night. I know I don't. Because usually we don't have the light on. I have to make sure before I cam up, I have to turn the light on so that you guys can, can actually see me. A couple of times I've cammed up and it was dark in here. But, I want to do that to y'all tonight. The TV's on, but that's not enough light. It gets really dark in here, even though this wall behind me is yellow. When you turn the lights off, it's pretty dark with only a screen from the computer. And I don't feel like pulling out my light and all of that stuff. I'm so lazy. But when I'm filming, like when I'm doing my vlog, I pull everything out. Then I'm doing it. But for the live streams, that's why I'm gonna get that's why I'm getting the green screen. I can have that like behind me, and then I can have whatever background. Because I think the green screen for StreamYard, it'll work even if I'm on my phone. I think it will. Like on Zoom, which I never use on this, I would automatically I automatically have a background. I have a background. One of these days, I'm going to test my Zoom. for you guys on here. I know. I I think I connected it finally. I think I connected it finally. I'm I'm squinting. I can just look to see. I have the big screen across from me over here. Someone's laughing at me. All right, you guys. I'm gonna get off of here because it is almost midnight. So it is almost Super Tuesday on the West Coast. For the rest of you guys, it's already Super Tuesday. So I will see you later on today. Until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. Everybody be safe because hopefully it will be a chill day, as the polls close. I'm not sure if I'm going to come on before the polls close or after. Probably after they close. We'll see, y'all. But I will be on in the morning with my morning quickie. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.